Dressage is now complete here in Luhmühlen, the fourth leg of this year's HSBC FEI Classics series. And the leader after that test is Lucinda Fredericks for Australia with Flying Finish, a horse that came from here in Germany. They're out in front on 31.8. We asked Lucinda to talk us through her leading test.
The thing about dressage for me is having the confidence to actually go in with your horse as best prepared as possible and to have it so fixed in your mind, the movements you're going to do, how you're going to prepare them, how you're going to ride them. I actually don't ride through the test an awful lot, but I ride and repeat movements within the test. This horse has got a great temperament and he's very trainable. He's still very weak, and although he's very active, for me the medium trot is still a little bit fast, and as he gets stronger behind the saddle it'll get slower and more deliberate. Riding the shoulder in on the centre line is always quite difficult when the centre line's not actually sort of flattened, so I point my left kneecap right down towards the judge. The half pass I felt there needed to have a little bit more quarters. This is a funny old movement to come back to walk and then do the walk pirouette, and they've got to keep the hind legs walking, And although it was a little bit big, it was very active, and that's important. And then here, the extended trot, he starts to get quite a good rhythm over the centre line, and then just quietly comes back into the collected trot. And again into the shoulder in. I had, I think, a little bit more of a problem keeping him onto my outside contact here, although the half pass I think flowed a little better than the other one. The main thing with this horse is, he's got a desirable temperament and he tries hard. His neck's not the best. It's a little bit what we call broken. But as he's getting stronger behind the saddle, I'm able to push him more sort of out in front in the contact. Oh, good hold. Good boy, Christy. This wasn't great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was just a tiny bit hesitant. It's nearly like he was trying a little bit too much. You can see I gave him a little of a kick and said, come on. And the main thing about this movement, the extended walk, is you have to make them march. And I think I did that. If you actually look at where his feet are going, the back legs, the back feet are really stretching over the front footfalls, and then up here the rhythm just stays the same, although the rein, you can't see it, is becoming shorter and the neck higher, ready for the direct canter strike off. And that was very positive, and think very positive in the first 3 strides of the canter, and then sit them back on the hocks. Well, that's a pretty good half pass. It's a little bit difficult to tell if the angle was enough from where we're sitting. And the main thing here, we've got to cut the corner because it's the start of the serpentine. And I'm subtly just riding him forward and bringing him back, riding him forward and bringing him back, riding him forward, very forward in the change. And that's, the judges don't want to see the horses propping or hovering, let alone do, untrue changes or late changes. And the canter across to the left, as again, he'll get stronger with his hind legs and he will have a sort of a bigger stretch to the side with a more elevated hind leg. It's a shame the picture actually is on the legs there, because if you see that horse do his extended canter from the side, it's magnificent because the whole horse must extend and not get faster. And then bringing them back into the corner is very important for the balance in preparation for this serpentine and this change, straight on the centre line. It wasn't quite as forward as I was in the first change, so for me that wouldn't have been worth probably more than an 8. Just setting him back on the hocks and then activating the horse straight through, hit the marker, make a good turn. Very good. Oh, pretty pleased with that. I think he's deserved his 31. I'm already smiling. I knew I'd done a pretty good test. And then up the centre line. Not sure what this was like. Stand still. Stand still. Good boy. I probably should have saluted half a second later. But they'd already started clapping, so I thought I'd better be quick. It's a great feeling when you put all the work into the horse. I don't have a lot of training with him. And you put a lot of work into a horse and they try for you. And that's all part of a good partnership for the dressage, which, of course, nowadays in this very competitive sport is hugely important. I actually didn't think I'd ever get another one that was going to be as good as my little Headley Britannia. And he, in 2 years' time, I think he'll go up another 10 marks. I think he'll be outstanding in the dressage when the time comes.
Well, sadly, as dressage ended, the rain started in Luhmühlen, but I don't think it's going to affect tomorrow's cross-country on Julie. Andrew Nicholson for New Zealand will be the first out of this start box, and then some 43 jumping efforts over 10.5 minutes later, he will return to this finish line on what promises to be a cracking and true 4-star test. We'll have all of the cross-country from this HSBC FEI Classics event at Luhmühlen here from 1:45 Central European Summertime on FEI TV. Do please join us then.